Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Schoner. I hope you're all having a great weekend. I'm recording this on Sunday, August 30th, and I want to just go over the expectations for the papers that are due at the end of week 2 on Friday, September 4th. If you were in on a Zoom meeting with me on Friday, you could probably skip a lot of this. This is not going to apply to you because you already have learned this stuff. But I'm recording this for both of my History 101 classes, the online and the remote version. So if you were not, if you did not talk to me directly last week, then this is the video for you. So I'm just going to click on one of these sections for History 101 and go over what we're looking at. So in terms of the paper that is due on Friday, all the things that you need are in the weekly modules under week 2 folder. And you can see your checklist up here. This is for the online, purely online class, History 101-03. But it's the same stuff for the remote version as well of the course. But here are all the things relating to the paper. So these are the things you need to read for this week. But down here at the bottom of the week 2 folder is the analysis paper 1 link. Here you have the directions. You want to use the paper template, which we'll go over in just a second. And you'll write a 2 to 3 page paper that is addressing the questions down here. And you want to use the documents from both weeks 1 and 2 to deal with the questions in this prompt. Okay, so it's not just the week 2 thing, even though this is happening during week 2 of the semester. You want to use the documents from the first week of the semester, from last week and this week, to help you answer the questions because they are relevant for both weeks. So first question is, how did ancient civilizations we've read about so far, Babylon, Egypt, and the Hebrews are going to be for this week, week 2. How do they view the divine? In other words, what kinds of God and gods did they worship, and how do they imagine them having power over their lives as humans? So this can be answered in a number of different ways. Did the gods give people laws, instructions on how to live? Did they punish them or bless them according to certain things? All that stuff. And then there's a second part to the essay as well about women and gender. So how are women perceived in these ancient societies, Babylon, Egypt, Hebrews? And how did women have any restrictions placed upon them and why? So you have quite a bit to write about here in the 2 to 3 page range. And if you click on analysis paper 1, if you click on that link, that will take you to the assignment information. And this is where you upload your final product, whether it's in Microsoft Word, or if you've converted it to a PDF because you are typing it in like Google Docs or something, it doesn't matter. But here's where you would upload the file, and then you just click this and run it through Safe Assign and click Submit. So that's all you have to do is just upload the file to using this link, and then click the checkbox for the plagiarism tools to make sure that you submit it appropriately. You could also, if you wanted, you could also write the entire paper in this text box, but I don't recommend doing that because if like your browser times out, you could lose all of your work. I recommend just doing it in a normal Word document. So that's how you submit the paper. There are a few things here to help you out. So there's the analysis paper template, which if you click on that, it gives you, whoops, here, I'm gonna get it for us to look at. Here we go. Basically, it's the format of how you want to structure your paper. So your name, the class, the instructor, the assignment, all up here in the top left. And then everything else is in 12-point font, Times New Roman or Calibri, doesn't matter. To me, either one of those is fine. Double space, default margins for Microsoft Word, and then all this stuff up here. And so this is going to be kind of common sense to a lot of you who have written papers, like short papers in high school and other venues, but I'm looking for an intro, body, and conclusion. That's pretty much standard for any college level essay. The length, I've talked about a little bit down here, 2 to 3 pages or 5 to 700 words. Sometimes people just think about the length of papers better in word length and not page length. And that does include citations as well, okay, in that kind of word range. The grading, we'll look at the rubric in just a second, and then citations. I mean, anytime you use a document as evidence in your essay, you want to cite it at the end of your sentence in which you use the document. So all these documents, you know, we've read a couple last week. We're reading 3 for this week. It all comes from the perspectives from the past document book. And so I've got an example, right, of someone citing a document down here. Punishments fell especially harsh on Babylonian women in the ancient period, for instance, blah, 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 blah. Here's a direct quote from the Code of Hammurabi, and then the person cites it in parentheses after the end of the sentence. Code of Hammurabi is just the title of the document, and then what page you found it on in your book. So that gives you the basic kind of structure of how to frame the essay. I also have a sample paper for you to look at, and it gives you a good example of the format right here. You know, there's the introduction, there's the body of the essay, and then down here is a nice conclusion. I just highlighted it to make it, you know, pop out. But anytime they use a document, they cite it down here. So you have good examples of how to cite your evidence. So you can peruse that at your leisure, and also you can see another document that's attached in the folder for week 2 is the rubric for how I grade these things. So you have a good idea of, you know, where your grade comes from and how to get the maximum number of points. So I'll be grading out of, you know, just basic like content, like you just writing an essay by itself is worth points. The evidence that you use and whether it's used correctly or convincingly, and by evidence I mean the documents, right? Backing up your claims in the essay by using the documents as evidence. The length, right? Does it meet the standard length? The citations, are they there and are they correct? And then finally, composition or just English. You know, are you using appropriate English? All right, so that's the basic rundown of it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to contact me during my office hours or just send me an email and I'll get to you as soon as I possibly can. But that's going to be the basic rundown for writing your first paper, which is due at the end of Friday, September 4th. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions, guys. I hope you're all well, and I will talk to you later.